I gotta say, I'm feeling bad right now. Hello. um, yeah, so, I gotta say, I am really not feeling great. Like, I really don't know what's up. Like, I think when I was in Vietnam, I think I was still enamored by just the experience of solo backpacking. And so, yeah, I was just like really excited, and I think that propelled me to, talk to a lot of people and whatever. And that gave me a lot of good experiences. I think, like, when I was in Vietnam, everyone who I met basically went to Thailand first, and they were talking about how great the vibes in Thailand were, and how Vietnam sucked compared to Thailand. And I'm not really, I think the vibes are good here, but like, I don't know if they are particularly better than Vietnam. I think it's more due to the fact that it was everyone's like first half. Like, everyone went to Vietnam after Thailand, so I'm pretty sure what they thought were better vibes were actually just it's actually just like novelty, you know. And yeah, I think for me it's like the opposite, right? Because I went to Vietnam first before Thailand, and I think that made all the difference, you know? I think that, so in short, it really sucks here. Like, the vibes have been really off for the past couple of days, I would say. Like, you know the Portishead song Roads? The core lyric is like, how could this feel so wrong? Yeah, I'm feeling that right now. I feel like whenever I expect to be happy, I end up being very sad. And this is one of those moments. God, it's so painful right now. Like, like, Oh no. It sucks. I kind of want to live in like Airbnbs and like hotels moving forward. In this journey, I went from a shared dorm to a private room in a hostel. And it's just like, it's just so physically painful, I would say. I always think about like, why am I like this? Because I think at core, it's definitely some trauma that I experienced in the past, Like, I don't know, maybe... Because, you weren't born like this, you became like this. And, I don't know, maybe it's just a lot of social isolation and rejection and, like, that you experienced at an early age that you were, like, so much, like, behavior is just maladaptive, like, you experience certain things and that causes you to have certain personality traits, which then accentuates a lot of things. So if you were, if you experienced things that propelled you to feel lonely and whatever, you develop like a deep sense of like self-consciousness, which then makes talking to people harder, which then feeds into deeper feelings of self-consciousness. Oh my god, they're playing Beauty and the Beat outside by Justin Bieber. They really love that song, South Asia. Anyways, and yeah, like I feel like I'm there right now. Like I feel like I've just been like fishing out so much like shit over the past couple of years. Like I feel like I push myself so hard. Like I feel like my life has just been like, after I turned 18, just nonstop pushing myself. Well, even before then too, but like I'm more conscious about it now. Like I feel that I feel that I just experienced shit that made me in a certain way that I wasn't able to control for so long, and now I'm just like working very hard to unfuck myself basically, but it's hard because I'm like very fucked up. Yeah, and it's like this like a solo backpacking thing, right? I think that on one hand, like, I think it's so cool that some people just show up somewhere and then like make friends and like it's all great and they don't really think too much about it and they just like do that on repeat. But for me it's like really hit or miss, you know, like I either like become, you know, the most popular person at a hostel, or I just like feel so bad and I like can't make a single friend. And it's like I feel like that's where I am right now, you know, like I feel that like I feel like if you and the vibes aren't like meshing, like it's just not going to happen, you know, like, and I feel like that way right now. It's like you know, I was thinking about how like everyone is so lonely, but we're all so afraid of reaching out to people and like talking to strangers, and that like makes everything a lot worse. And it's like I don't know how our society is going to change from that, you know. Like I feel like I make a lot of eye contact with people. I've been really cognizant about like eye tag recently. But it's like it's really weird because like sometimes when you make eye contact with people and like and they don't look back and it's like are they just like shy or do they not like you, or like, and it's like you don't know, you know, like I feel that like how much of the inability to maintain a gaze with someone is actually just shyness, you know. And I don't know, it's like a hard question to answer. I feel that like for me I just like sometimes I'm just like I really try to be cognizant of like respecting people's space and like not being creepy and all of that. And as a result, I feel like I let some conversations that might have been good slip by because I'm just like, oh, what if they don't want to talk to me? And I wonder like how many people feel that way. There are like so many random solo travelers, and it's like you make eye contact with them and it's like, oh, do they want to talk? Do they want to like you to fuck off? Like, I don't know. You know, it's like you never get to know. Like there's not this like badge above someone's head that indicates whether or not they're receptive to conversation or not. That maybe there should be. Yeah. Like it's so much easier to talk to people when you have someone with you or when you're already in conversation. Just like starting from scratch is so hard, you know, and like your body kind of just like shuts down, you know, like I get like there's a lot of activation energy, but like knowing that doesn't necessarily help you, you know, like just because you know there's a lot of activation energy before your social self emerges doesn't necessarily make it any easier to bridge the initial point of contact. Yeah, it sucks right now. Like the happy hour went down, which is like good because I was getting like FOMO, but also like I was feeling like shit, and it's like I don't know. I'm either life of the party or like so sad, and like there's nothing in between. Like like when I start bouncing, I can bounce forever, but like when I'm not bouncing, I'm just like sinking into the ground. I'm a fucking basketball, that's what I am. You know, I don't really watch travel content, but I imagine like people don't really talk about this. Or I don't even know if people are like this, to be honest. Like, maybe people who travel just don't feel lonely, you know, who knows? Maybe the reason that travel vlogs are really upbeat and happy is because they are actually that upbeat and happy, you know, like who knows? Maybe, like, it's just like, we don't know how other people feel. We don't know what they are like in their private moments. And I get, like, I'm probably more open than a lot of other people on YouTube, but like, this isn't like all of me either, you know? I only create a vlog when I have something to talk about, you know, or I want to talk about something. When I don't want to talk about something, you know, there's no vlog and you don't get to see that part of my life, you know? And it's like, and it's same with like people, right? Like, vlogs are just me talking to the internet, but people talk to each other, and what they disclose is like very selective, you know? People don't disclose everything. They don't. Yeah, I'm just someone who is talking, you know? That's me. I am just someone who talks. Yeah, and it's like, you think your experiences are individual, right? And then you read books and you realize, no, they're actually not. But then you realize that these books are just like very particular accounts of the world, you know? Like, books are written by writers, and writers are a special type of people. They're not indicative of everyone else, because then everyone would be a writer, but they're not, because to write, I mean, at least to write a book before AI and all of this, like, it's like a very solitary act, you know? Not everyone is that solitary, and when you're that solitary, it invokes a lot of other personality traits like self-consciousness and, you know, like a deep interiority and like recursive thinking and like rumination. And it's like, these are just like, this is just like one type of person, you know? I write a lot, you know, so it speaks to me, but like, that doesn't mean it's, you know, indicative of other people. Like, I used to think that people, like, everyone had like really, you know, substantial thoughts, could articulate their feelings and, you know, their past and motivations and frameworks really well. But no, that's not true. Like, a lot of people just are really intuitive. A lot of people are very sensory. A lot of people just kind of exist out in the world without really thinking too much about it, you know? Whereas I feel like I'm the opposite, you know? I do a lot of thinking, but I don't really do a lot of like, I'm like too self-conscious when it comes to me existing in the world, you know? Where other people aren't that self-conscious. They just kind of like do their shit and they don't really think too much about it, you know? And like, I think a good life is like a balance of the two, but like, you know, you kind of just like, you're born with like one or the other. It gets like stronger over time, and that's like who you are until you figure out you need to change. And that's kind of where I am right now. I'm trying to be more embodied. I'm trying to have more physical presence, you know, like even if you, it's really paradoxical because like I'm simultaneously very aware of like how I appear socially, but very unaware of how I appear physically, you know, like I have a lot of social awareness, but I have very little physical awareness, you know, like, and that's like the worst of both worlds, because you want to be aware of like how you appear physically, and you don't want to be aware of like how you appear socially, because then you're able to exercise like more presence, you know. I think sometimes you have this like, there's a spectrum of like overthinking versus underthinking when it comes to social interaction. I definitely fall in the bucket of like overthinking. And I wish I wouldn't, you know? And I don't know, like, I feel like maybe, like, I mean, I guess, like, underthinking things is how you do, like, shitty stuff that gets you canceled, but, like, overthinking is bad as well, you know? And that's kind of where I am. And, like, I don't know, like, I feel like lately I've been going on down these, like, self-consciousness spirals, you know? Like thinking about it doesn't make it better. Just because I'm able to articulate it doesn't actually improve my situation. Like I can articulate what I'm feeling, but that doesn't really help out, does it? Like I think the solution is just to live a more embodied life, but it's easier said than done. You don't really know how to do that. You kind of just like try your best, but you don't really know what it looks like. I was thinking a lot about like intuition and how my intuition is like okay, but it's very underdeveloped. I mean, it's very antithetical to how I actually think about things. Like, I don't do things based on intuition, you know? I have to develop a framework around it and be able to articulate the logic of everything, the system of it, before I'm able to really integrate it into my day-to-day living and standardize, you know, set of procedures. But like kind of relying on your intuition more is like probably like better, I would say. Yeah, I don't know. You don't really know how you appear to others because no one actually tells you how you appear. You know, no one with like everyone has biases, everyone has there's like walls or like barriers that prevent people from being fully honest. We have these like social procedures and norms and expectations that make it very hard to have direct communication. People aren't really honest because of it, and that's just the society we live in. Well, Anyways, that's life. That's me. That's what I've been up to. Went from really excited for backpacking to kind of not really looking forward to it. I don't know what I'm going to do after this. I'll be in Koh Tao for 3 more days. And then and then I'll fly back to Chiang Mai. I was considering going to Pai afterwards. That was the plan, but I don't know if I'm actually going to do it. Or at least I don't know if I'm going to live in hostels. I might just like Airbnb it until my Vipassana retreat, but we'll see.